One of my favorite sets of pliers from Knipex just got bigger and better, you guys. We're going to go through the StepCut XL here in just a sec. It's the newest plier from Knipex, and I'm so excited to show you guys that. Before we get to those, I am going to run through 4 different tools that you guys recommended that I get. You guys said that they were awesome, and I have to be honest, you guys were so correct about it. So we're going to go ahead and fly through these, but we have some sweet tools here. And then at the end, we'll go ahead and go through these new StepCut XLs. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you guys, we put a lot of work into these videos, so hit the like button, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and hop into our tools. Now, first and foremost, this one had so many comments, I think all the way up to 15. So you guys comment down below if there are any other tools that I need to check out from any tool brand. Let me know, because I actually do go and look at the comments and I buy them, order them, and that way, if there's amazing tools out there that people don't know about, we can get people set up with them like right now. This one here though is the Knipex PerciStrip 16. It's a precision wire stripper. Typically, I'll find that automatic wire strippers can be a little bit finicky. They can feel a little funny every now and then. It just feels weird. I haven't experienced that once with this yet. I've had these for about a week and a half, been using them for about that long. And I have to say, they're definitely my favorite set of automatic self-adjusting wire strippers. That's the beautiful thing about this. It's one size fits all. It automatically adjusts the pressure so that you don't have to change the holes. They don't have to change sizes ever. And there's a couple of other things that I really love about this one here especially. Now, it does do 28 through 5. So you guys, that's a huge range. It takes care of almost every single size of wire that you can have. And I love that it goes down to the lower end because it gives you a really easy option that you can use for all of it. Also, the cutters on this, I haven't liked any cutters from automatic wire strippers yet. These are the best, okay? I mean, they're not like crazy, but I'm telling you, I've hated to use any of the other types of cutters on these. So we'll go ahead and cut some 14-2. Takes a little bit of pressure, but that's 3 conductors. You're really going to be cutting 1, which is what you're going to be using these for, not the multi-conductor type of stuff. For that to cut through that so easily though, I'm impressed. I like it. And like I said, I don't have another automatic wire stripper that I actually will use the cutter on, but I will use these for single cables every single time. They also have this adjustable length, so you can see this red part here. If you pinch it, you can move it, so that way when you stick your wire in there, you can have the same size stripped cable every single time. This is really important, especially if you're doing a lot of the same stuff, which you're going to be doing. I especially like automatic wire strippers for very repetitive tasks, but you can set it to the same length. That way, wherever you're terminating, all of your wires are going to have the same amount of copper showing. So that part of it is fantastic, super useful. And like I said, they are automatic, so it will adjust to the size of wire all the way up to 5, all the way down to 28, which is incredible. You also have this portion here, which will allow you to change for specific wire styles, especially, I guess, temperature ratings, different stuff like that. I don't really need that, but if that's something that you particularly need because of what you do in your field, it's on there, which is cool. The other part that I really love about this is the ergonomics. I like the fact that the handle is back and this is away. So that way when you're pushing this in, it's not the typical, like, you don't have to pull it away like a wire stripper, but you put it in there and you don't have to move it. It moves on its own. This makes it incredibly useful for tight spaces. It makes it incredibly useful for short wires, especially in old residential homes. I don't do residential, but everybody knows that when you're an electrician, you end up working residential for somebody just to help them out. And these things right here will save your butt, especially on shorter wires, old stuff. I'm a service guy, so a lot of the service stuff, you just tend to have things that have been remodeled 14 times and the wires are short. And instead of having to pull all new wire, sometimes you just need to make it work. They also are a 2-component. This red up here is a softer rubber. The black is a hard plastic, which they're ergonomic. They fit in my hand well. They're very light, which is important. I love for my tools to be light. That way I can have more in my pouch and it doesn't weigh me down as much. I can carry more on my person. The blades are replaceable. You can see there's some, I think, Allen keys or Torx in here in the front that you can take out the blades, which is awesome. There's also a part up here that you can tie on so you can have it tethered. So if you're working up high and that's required, you can do that. We'll go through an example here. We'll put the wire in here. It hits our little red piece and stops. These front jaws up here stay in the same place. and the rest of it just pulls back on our little piece of wire there. You can see, we'll go ahead and chop this one off now. So push it in there, boom, pop it off, and it's done. Obviously, you can change the length of the wire, the amount of copper that you want to show, but it's quick, it's easy, and you guys, it just makes light work out of, obviously, wire stripping super easy anyway. It's just a different way to do it, and these are the first automatic wire strippers. I believe it's because of the shape that I like them so much more. Also, this handle just sticks well into a lot of the pockets that are on my pouches, which just makes it easier for carrying. It makes it, obviously, things can be amazing tools if they're impossible to carry because of their shape. Then it's like kind of frustrating to use them. There is a link in the description for these and for all of the rest of the tools. I've also tagged the ones that are available on the YouTube shopping, so you guys feel free to use that, whatever works best for you. But I have left links to all of this stuff so you can get the exact model and the exact kind that I talked about here today. Next up, we have the Knipex Cutix. This thing, it's been out for a little bit and I kind of avoided it, and now I understand what the hype was about. I never understood. I thought this was plastic the whole time. It's got some sort of magnesium. That's what it's made out of, is magnesium. And it's metal, okay? It's a super lightweight metal that it feels amazing. It's super ergonomic. There's some portions here with more of like there's some sort of texture to them. It just feels good in my hand. I wasn't super excited about this one when it came out, and finally I just ordered it. Everybody's been commenting about it. We'll see. And it's pretty sweet. I like the material that it's made out of because it's metal and it's sturdy, but it's also very, very light, which again is something that's important to me. You guys can see the Knipex written here on the actual knife itself, which is cool. The blue portions are plastic, which is not an issue, but as you can see, there are two different dials here, two different controls, and the reason for that is this blade here comes out. And the big reason that people use these, I'll put my notepad down, is for the flex. So you guys can see how it's flexing there. It gets flat and you can get underneath something. You can have something be flat on a surface, which is cool. These blades are, they break off on purpose, right? But as you can see, there's quite a bit of strength there in order to do that. The cool part about this is that with this bottom piece here, it has a spine. Now what that'll allow is for stability. So now you have this knife that's no longer flexible all the way up until, obviously you can have it all the way down. You can have just a little bit of flexibility, or you can have it all the way. This is not only going to stop the flexing, but it's also going to give you a lot more ergonomic place to put your thumb, so you can have more control over the knife if you desire that. Obviously, you can put your thumb on the back of it. It's just wider, and you can put more pressure on it and have more control, which I absolutely love. This one also has a place for you to tie on to tether if you need to. And one of the things that I love about a knife, especially one like this with some different style of blades, is that this blue portion just comes out back here and it holds two spare blades. So technically it comes with 3 blades total. There's 2 in the back here, and then there's obviously the one in the front, but it just slides back in there. It's just a little plastic piece. Now, there are a ton of different adjustment settings, so we can have it pushed all the way out, and we can also have just the very edge of that blade showing all the way. A ton of different settings there. The blade change is incredibly easy. If we just push this up, there's a little portion back here, this blue portion, and we just have to push that in, and this pops out. Obviously, if you're not trying to watch and make sure that it's in focus, it's even easier. So don't record while you're doing this, especially don't cut yourself. I think we made it through without cutting ourselves though, and that's a bonus. I can't tell you guys how many times I have opened my hands up trying to record videos, and I almost leave it in every time and I take it out, but not this time, not yet. And these blades are snappable. They snap off so you can have a different cutting edge as it wears down, but there's 7 different pieces that you get to snap off on these particular blades. Next up, we have the Knipex screwdrivers. You guys, these, I thought that they were totally different than this, and I'm so glad that we finally picked up a set. They're incredibly ergonomic. If you guys know the channel, you know I love ergonomic things. You know I love Knipex for that reason. Their utility is always amazing, but screwdrivers especially, I thought I wasn't going to love these. These are amazing. They fit very well in my hand. This is the 5-piece set that I got. It comes with a 5.5 flathead and a number 2 Phillips, which are the main 2 sizes of screwdrivers that I use, that most people use, especially for electrical. What I really love about these, though, are the handles. They are shaped incredibly well. They have a smaller portion up front right here, and it gets just a little larger so your hand doesn't slip. And then this is almost like a ball in a way, and it just fits in your hand the way that you want it to. The yellow is a soft rubber. The red is a hard plastic. They also have an anti-roll function. They don't roll very far. That's the whole point, which is due to these portions up here. They're flat, and that's what a lot of the weight rests on. But this is also the hard part. The red is the hard plastic. They also have a hole in the back here, which is for hanging. But if you get creative, if you ever need to add a little bit of extra torque, if you throw a thinner driver through there, you can actually use it as a T-handle. I prefer to use the non-insulated one so you can get a little bit of a thicker blade in there, but that's all I've got sitting on the desk right now. So just a little tip, if you guys ever need to put some extra pressure on there, those holes are absolutely great for that. They also have the markings on the back. Most of them are white. There are a couple on the smaller end that are yellow. This one here is yellow, but it does tell you what it is, the type of screw that it fits, and everything else that you need to know pretty much about the screwdrivers. You guys, I wrote these off for a long time. Sad that I did because they're pretty sweet. I'm going to have to probably get the full set here soon. I just got the 5-piece set. It also comes in a 7-piece set. If you're looking for cool screwdrivers that are different, definitely check out the Knipex ones. They're pretty sweet. Next up, these are more of a fun one, and we'll just brush through them real quick. There's some pretty sweet details on these. These are the Knipex Cobras. These are the XSs, and they've got some absolutely cool designs on them. This says Cobra on this side. You can see there's all the little detail in there. Obviously, there's no handles. Then it says Made in Germany on this side. The handles, it's a little bit different of a mechanism, I think because it's so small, but in order to get it to go down, you just have to open it up and push down. It's almost similar to the alligators there, but then in order to go up, you can have it open or closed and just push on it. There's not an actual push button. These things are cool. I just love Knipex, honestly, and I love their Cobras. Their pliers are so fantastic. Saw these and I was like, man, I should pick a set up because they're cool, and that's what people do. So if you're looking for kind of a fun one, this is definitely a fun one, but obviously they are the same quality as the rest of anything from Knipex, which is just absurd. And the moment you've all been waiting for, you guys, the StepCut XLs, you guys. These are the 9-inch version of the original StepCutters, and these StepCutters are one of my favorite sets of shears. So that's one of the reasons I was so excited. They're small but mighty. I hate small pliers, especially for shears, things that are not for precision stuff. They're for like actual, damage. And these were still amazing, even being a 6-inch pair of pliers, or 5.5, whatever it was. These are 9 inches though. The leverage on these is insane. Okay, these cut like butter. They have steps in them, which is what makes them so much better than other shears. And there's a couple of insane features, you guys. I'll show you guys here in a second. It's crazy. But the steps make cutting so much easier. They make it cut like butter. As you can see, there are 2 portions. There's this front portion up here, which is to nibble on larger cables, especially multi-conductor, but that way you can kind of work it down until you can get it into this larger portion here, which is the main shear component of these sets of pliers. Now, what I love about this is you can see on this side, when you close it, this jaw is flat. Now, that's kind of strange. There's like a little bit of character there to help with the cutting. But what that allows is it allows you to not have to open the pliers as far to get them open. Typically, pliers like this have 2 beaks on them. And what that means is you have to have them so far open in order to get them wide enough to get the wire in there. This allows for an easy one-handed action, especially for even cables that aren't super large, because you can open it and it has this flat side, because if it didn't have the flat side in there, it would still be touching it about there. So that is incredibly useful. What an innovation from Knipex from this. Something that I didn't expect, something that I didn't know would be so useful, but I absolutely love. And Knipex does make some of the most high quality pliers. So even though I've only had these for about a week and a half. I've had these for, I believe, 3 years now, 4 years, and they've been absolutely amazing. I can trust the quality of these, and I can speak to the quality of these because Knipex just they don't fail. They've been doing it for a long time. Their stuff is amazing. They also have a really thin head on them, which is great for tight spaces. These handles are the VDE. They're 1000 volt rated. It's my favorite handle of that. I like to have my stuff insulated. But one of the cool things is they also have the new comfort grip handles in these, which will be coming soon to the channel, I believe in the next 2 weeks. But they're on the way, so you guys should subscribe for that if you want to see, because they have just released a brand new set of handles and some attachments to go with it. So we've actually got a bunch of new Knipex tools, other new Knipex tools on the way. So sub if you want to see more Knipex, because they're pretty sweet. But one of the other things that Knipex does is they have a pinch guard, and so if you see this, my hand, they're completely closed, and my fingers don't get caught until the very end here, and it's barely. So what that means is if you're really putting a lot of leverage on these, and these snap shut, they're not going to crush your fingers. And when you're doing that, obviously you're going to be at the end. Crush, no finger pinch at all, unless you have it up top, which at that point you're not going to be putting a ton of pressure on it, hopefully, and you won't hurt yourself. And if you do, that part's, it's on you. You got to take care of yourself better than that. You can fit up to 2-inch cables in this jaw here, and it's rated up to 2/0, so that part of it is fantastic. But really, they make light work of cables, so we're going to go ahead and cut some of this 14-2. We'll cut with the front portion first, and it's got quite a bit of snap to it. I mean, there's zero effort going into this. We'll go ahead and I'll shut my mouth for a second and let you hear it. I'm not putting any effort into it whatsoever. Matter of fact, we'll go one finger, easy. You can't expect anything less. If you're on the fence about these, you guys get them. They're amazing. They are an absolute beast of a plier. Obviously, anything that Knipex comes out with that's new is going to be fantastic. Their old stuff is so well set up, and these are just a better version of one of my already favorite pliers. It's just bigger and better. Now, if you do want to see my entire Knipex collection, because I do have a ton of tools from Knipex, you guys head up to this video. Remember, it's all for his glory, and I'll see you guys on the next one.